Did humanity really set foot on the moon in 1969, or was it all an elaborate hoax? For decades, people have debated whether the Apollo 11 mission was one of the greatest achievements of mankind, or one of the biggest lies ever told. The grainy footage, the political climate, whispers of Cold War propaganda, it's all perfect fodder for conspiracy theories. But what does the science say? In this video, we'll break down the key arguments from moon landing skeptics and see if they hold up under scrutiny. Buckle up, space cadets, it's time for a cosmic investigation. Wait, that flag is waving. In space? There's no air, how can that be? That's a classic argument from our moon landing skeptics. And at first glance, it seems pretty convincing. But hold on, let's unfurl the science behind it. You see, that flag wasn't just flapping in the breeze, it was designed that way. NASA knew that a regular flag would just hang limply in the vacuum of space. Can you imagine going all that way and not getting that iconic stars and stripes forever shot? So they cleverly mounted the flag on a telescopic pole with a horizontal rod extending along the top edge. This created the appearance of a waving flag even without any wind. Now what about the way it moves? Some folks point to the flag's rippling motion as proof of wind, but remember there's no air resistance on the moon. So, when the astronauts planted the flagpole, the inertia from their movements caused the flag to continue swaying back and forth. It's like pushing a swing. It keeps moving for a while even after you let go. Think about it. If they were faking it on a soundstage somewhere, wouldn't they have gotten the flag part right? The fact that the flag appears to wave is actually evidence of the moon's environment, not a sign of a Hollywood set. Alright, let's tackle another big one, the missing stars in the Apollo photographs. Conspiracy theorists love to point this out as evidence of a cover-up. If they were really on the moon, why couldn't they just point the camera up and snap a picture of the Milky Way? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, it's all about the lighting. Picture this. You're trying to take a picture of a friend standing in front of a brightly lit store window. You can see your friend just fine, but the background is completely blown out. The same thing happened on the moon. The lunar surface, bathed in direct sunlight, was incredibly bright, far brighter than the faint light from distant stars. To get a good exposure of the astronauts and the lunar landscape, the cameras had to use short shutter speeds. This meant that the faint light from stars simply wasn't captured on film. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a rock concert. The background noise drowns it out. So, the next time you hear someone say, "No stars, fake landing," you can confidently explain the science behind it. It's not evidence of a conspiracy, just a basic understanding of photography and the challenges of shooting in a brightly lit environment. Chapter 3, Shadows and Light. A lunar illusion? Now let's step into the realm of shadows and light, a favorite playground for conspiracy theorists. They claim that the shadows in the Apollo photos look unnatural and point to inconsistencies in the lighting. But, as usual, there are perfectly logical explanations rooted in science. First up, the strange angles. On Earth, we're used to seeing parallel shadows because the sun is so far away. But on the moon, things are a bit different. The lunar surface isn't perfectly flat, it's covered in craters, hills, and valleys. These uneven surfaces can cause shadows to appear distorted, converging or diverging in ways that seem counterintuitive at first glance. It's like looking at a straw in a glass of water. The light bends, making the straw appear broken. Next, the mysterious glow. Some photos show objects in the shadows that appear illuminated, leading some to believe that artificial lights were used. However, this is another trick of the moon's environment. The lunar surface, even in shadow, reflects a surprising amount of sunlight. This reflected light, known as ambient light or albedo, can bounce around and illuminate objects from unexpected angles. Chapter 4, The Radiation Riddle, a cosmic catch-22? Now, this next one is a real brain teaser, the Van Allen radiation belts. These belts, named after their discoverer James Van Allen, are donut-shaped regions of charged particles trapped by Earth's magnetic field. They pose a significant radiation hazard to spacecraft and astronauts passing through them. So how did the Apollo astronauts survive this invisible cosmic gauntlet? Well, it wasn't by sheer luck or some secret anti-radiation shield hidden up NASA's sleeve. It was a combination of careful planning, trajectory optimization, and good old-fashioned engineering. First, let's talk about timing. The Van Allen belts aren't static. Their intensity fluctuates with solar activity. NASA meticulously planned the Apollo missions to coincide with periods of low solar activity, minimizing the radiation risks. Think of it like checking the weather forecast before going on a hike. You want to avoid the storms. Second, the trajectory. The Apollo spacecraft didn't just fly straight through the densest parts of the belts. Instead, they took a carefully calculated path that minimized their exposure time. It's like driving around a city instead of going straight through the downtown area. During rush hour, you avoid the worst of the traffic. And finally, the shielding. While not impenetrable, the Apollo spacecraft were equipped with shielding to protect the astronauts from radiation. Outrow one giant leap for mankind. So was the Apollo 11 mission fake? The overwhelming scientific evidence, along with decades of space exploration, confirms that humans did land on the moon. While conspiracy theories can be entertaining, they often ignore basic physics and engineering. And if the moon landing was a hoax, why hasn't any country exposed it after all these years? The Apollo missions were a triumph of human ingenuity, courage, and perseverance, a testament to our boundless curiosity and our drive to explore the unknown. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more mind-blowing space content. This is just the tip of the cosmic iceberg, and there's a whole universe out there waiting to be explored.